The wait has come to an end. Sonic X Shadow Generations is now here. Because I personally like to enjoy my games and not complete them in one sitting, you are insane. I'm deciding to make a review for the first 2 stages and boss, and then I'll make another review after completely finishing the entire game. And, then we'll see how the first impression holds up. Alright, no more talking, let's get to the good stuff. First impressions. Just from the beginning clips of the first level, I was already stoked. The visuals, high resolution, and beautiful scenery in this level, especially in the mini cutscenes, were spot on. And at some points, I got overstimulated. While the level design itself wasn't all that, this is the first level, and it's meant to be easy to teach the basics surrounding Shadow's controls, and it does that very well. However, it does kind of take a turn in the second act and in the first act of the next stage, because, okay, just let me explain. For the second act of the Space Colony arc, the gameplay is slow. It's also a bit too easy, And it was just too forgiving and just kind of bland. It had too many empty sections, especially in 2D, and it just wasn't much of a challenge. Also, I had a massive problem with these guys right here. You see these pillars? Whenever I'd be midair, after pulling away from them, I wouldn't be able to homing attack. I don't know what's wrong with that. It was a mild problem, but it was a nuisance at the time. While that level did kind of suck, the storyline and what happens after is pretty cool. Around the end of the level, Shadow unlocked the ability to glide due to his new cool dark wings that he has. However, it does deplete your boost gauge, and it's kind of just like imaging the light ring dash. Like it's really trying to be the light ring dash. It's not. But after the level was over, a cutscene played of Shadow understanding that what happened was unusual, but it felt like second nature. Now this is probably because Doom is manipulating Shadow into, using his evil powers, probably to use him as a vessel or something, especially considering he has his DNA. But besides that, once out of the cutscene, the game requires us to interact with this dark mirror, and what happens next is kind of weird. You see, Shadow is manipulated by Doom power, and he harnesses the ability Doom Spears, allowing him to attack 5 things at once. And then something even better happens. You see, at first, when I got this ability, I thought, okay, we're gonna use this in the next level, right? No. This was to be used in the hub world. Boom. Look at this. Literally Sonic Frontiers put into Sonic Generations. It's beautiful. Just mixing up every game from the franchise, putting them all together. It's perfection. Now for the second stage, Rail Canyon, Act 1 was pretty bad. I don't mean to sound like I'm hating, but personally, rails are not my thing, especially when you have to react really quickly, because it's like, bro, I'm not even moving right now. I'm not even in control, and you want me to just, what do you want me to do here? Many times in this level, I died due to having slow reaction time, and then sometimes it was just dumb stuff like this. At the end of this level, Black Doom again alters the map. I know you saw the trailer, so I didn't include that when I talked about the first act of the first stage. But he once again alters the map, and he puts Shadow under some crazy Zaza juice. But while all these things looked insane, it felt kind of boring. You're just going straight. It's like you're not even in control of anything. You're just trying to chill. Doesn't make it better that Black Doom is just moaning in your ears.
You'll understand soon enough.
At this point, the game to me seemed kind of lame, I'm not gonna lie. But luckily, I stuck it out. And you know why? Because everything after this is sick. The last act, the abilities, the challenges, the boss fight, all of it was so beautiful. The last act of Rail Canyon had multiple routes, and I was both in the slow and fast at times. It was so rewarding, getting a faster route by reacting quick, and also not being punished too hard whenever I would mess up. Now after this second act that I really liked, another ability was unlocked. And this one, very cool. It literally felt like I was playing Marvel's Spider-Man, the way Shadow was throwing hands. Dude, This is crazy. And it actually uses the same button interaction as Spider-Man's air launch attack. So it's like I'm playing Spider-Man in Sonic. As soon as my shot was finished, the gate to the boss fight was revealed. And at this time, I had a new task. I had to complete 6 out of 8 challenges and gather at least 3 keys. I'll keep the talk on these challenges brief, but just know that these are incredibly simple, but they're challenging and fun. For example, in Rail Canyon Act 1 Challenge 1, the idea is to use Doom Spear and pop 25 balloons just before the end. Since the game also judges you on your time, doing this as fast as possible led to me continuously dying. But because I could remember where the balloons were, the game literally became a memory game. And I just loved it. It was so good. Now, for the final first impression. How good is the boss? Well, from what I expected, this is a banger. BioLizard, who used to look like this, now has an entire redesign and everything looks amazing. Now, while I haven't played Sonic Adventure 2, I know I'm really late on this stuff. I'll play it later. This is a drastic change. In the beginning of the fight, I got my butt kicked. I tried to run, and then his tail would just whoop me. I didn't know what to expect, so you know, I died. But then, after a couple more tries, I finally understood. And what happens in this boss fight is crazy. He progresses every time after you hit him. It's beautiful. It's been so long since a boss in Sonic has actually had a brain. Dude, this is a boss that actually managed to think of different methods to beat his opponent. First, he grew wings, and then he used that to smack us up. But once that was used against him, you know what he did? He thought of something else, going fast enough for Shadow to be unable to attack. However, unfortunately for him, he didn't know that Shadow has chaos control and, you know, can freeze time. But then, even then, he used his big brain again. And he said, you know what? I'm gonna keep my distance. He stuck himself to a wall and just kept shooting us from there. But then he made a big mistake. You see, he blew this big, massive attack. And you know what Sega likes to do? They like to make things look cool. So they had Shadow go up there with his chaos control and beat it up and send it back. So the BioLizard died, but he died a Bio legend. So yeah, that's the first impression I got from Sonic X Shadow. Crazy. Insane bosses, astonishing visuals, some great and some mid-level design, and tons of ability upgrades. I didn't mention this, but literally after the boss fight, there was another upgrade. And that's it. This game is sick.